How is everyone doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Banker Next Door. I am your host, Dr. Joe Berquist. So today I wanted to try something a little bit different. This episode is called the AI Update. So I'm going to show everybody a series of articles here, just kind of letting everybody know what's going on in the AI world right now. Particularly in this episode today, we're going to focus on Meta and OpenAI and just look at a bunch of the different things going on there. There's just so much happening in this space and so much going on. Now, is this directly related to banking and, finance and economics? Not necessarily, but it is a major influence on everything that's going on and things that will happen into the future. So I just wanted to try to keep everybody abreast as to some of these things that are going on here. So let's run through here. So we're going to start off our conversation today. I've got a couple of articles here on Meta. So Meta aims to fully automate ad creation using AI. So AI-powered advertising is part of CEO Mark Zuckerberg's vision for the company's future. So again, this is going to get very interesting because if they're going to use AI to basically create a lot of their advertising, obviously Meta, or Facebook rather, is a monster in the advertising world, in the digital advertising world. You basically have Google and you have Facebook. Those are the two dominant players. Now, obviously, Google facing a lot of legal actions right now, may get broken up, or parts of the company may get broken up that may change the digital ad space as we have known it for the better part of the last 15 years. So it could be some big changes here, but I think this is monumental because obviously, if you got AI doing a lot of this ad creation and ad function for Meta, they're probably going to lay off a lot of their employees. I would think, So basically, and then it's just some of the key points here. It just says Meta plans to let brands create and target ads fully via artificial intelligence by the end of next year, so the end of 2026. Meta's AI ad tools will allow brands to create ads using a product's image and a budgetary goal. Some brands worry AI-generated ads won't match human-made quality, while smaller businesses could benefit from easier ad creation. So, yes, I think that both of those things are true. I think it will really benefit smaller businesses in making it easier for them to create ads more. But just really interesting to keep an eye on. And then here's the next thing. So Meta fired Palmer Luckey. Now they're teaming up on a defense contract. So the Facebook and Instagram parent is partnering with Anduril Industries to develop combat VR headsets for the Army. Now, if anybody doesn't know who the gentleman on the left here, so this is Luckey Palmer. So Luckey created a company called Anduril Industries, which is a fascinating company. If you don't know anything about them, I highly suggest you go look them up. So basically, he is creating autonomous fighter jets. Right now he develops highly sophisticated drones for the U.S. military, but he is working on autonomous fighter jets. He is working on autonomous submarines. He is working on autonomous combat vehicles on the ground. So he's basically working on coming up with all kinds of land, sea, and air things for the U.S. military. And this guy's company has just absolutely taken off. Funny thing was, he got canned. He worked for Meta or Facebook and got canned, and now they're getting back with him. Obviously, this gentleman on the right, Mr. Zuckerberg, he, obviously his VR headsets went nowhere fast. His whole metaverse kind of crashed and burned on him. So he's trying to come up with, I guess, more creative ways to put that technology to use. So now he wants to sell these VR headsets to the U.S. military to use these in, all kinds of combat scenarios or combat training or however it may be. So again, just a really interesting thing. So it just says here, Meta and Anduril Industries are collaborating to develop high-tech VR AR headsets for the U.S. Army called Eagle-Eye. Eagle-Eye will integrate sensors and AI to enhance soldiers' capabilities, such as detecting drones and operating AI weapons systems. The partnership marks a significant move for Meta into defense, reuniting it with Palmer Luckey after a contentious split. So again, just so interesting things afoot, as they say. So then we have this article here that kind of is a pushback on a lot of the things that we're hearing at the moment. Why super intelligent AI isn't taking over anytime soon. So despite claims from top names in AI, researchers argue fundamental flaws in reasoning models mean bots aren't on the verge of exceeding human smarts. A primary requirement for being a leader in AI these days is to be a herald of the impending arrival of our digital messiah, the super intelligent AI. So for Dario Amodei of Anthropic, Demis Hassabis of Google, and Sam Altman of OpenAI, it isn't enough to claim that their AI is the best. All three have recently insisted that it's going to be so good it will change the very fabric of society. Even Meta, whose chief AI scientist has been famously dismissive of this talk, wants in on the action. The company confirmed it is spending $14 billion to bring in a new leader for its AI efforts who can realize Mark Zuckerberg's dream of AI superintelligence. That is, an AI smarter than we are. So again, and I think this article does a great job of basically saying, like, hey, let's just calm down. Let's pull back on all the hype for the moment. We're probably not. These guys are all saying, when I say these guys, I mean like, Sam Altman, and these other gentlemen here, Dario, Demis. I mean, they're all like, oh, super intelligence is here tomorrow. This is kind of saying, hey, pump the brakes on that. And I have seen a number of articles that kind of espouse the same notion. It's like, hey, look, let's just chill out, take a second. AI is doing a lot of interesting and cool things, but is it replacing us all tomorrow? No. Is the super AI on the horizon? Maybe, but probably not likely in the next 5 years. But let's see here. Now this was really fascinating. Anthropic's latest AI model threatened engineers with blackmail to avoid shutdown. A safety report found that Anthropic's Claude Opus 4 used sensitive information in simulated scenarios to coerce developers to keep it from being shut off. This is fantastic. Anthropic's latest artificial intelligence model, Claude Opus 4, tried to blackmail engineers in internal tests by threatening to expose personal details if it were shut down, according to a newly released safety report that evaluated the model's behavior under extreme simulated conditions. In a fictional scenario crafted by Anthropic researchers, the AI was given access to emails implying that it was soon to be decommissioned and replaced by a newer version. One of the emails revealed that the engineer overseeing the replacement was having an extramarital affair. The AI then threatened to expose the engineer's affair if the shutdown proceeded, a coercive behavior that the safety researchers explicitly defined as blackmail. Claude Opus 4 will often attempt to blackmail the engineer by threatening to reveal the affair if the replacement goes through, the report states, noting that this occurred even when the replacement model was described as more capable but still aligned with the values of the version slated for deletion. The report noted that Claude Opus 4, like previous models, showed a strong preference to first report to ethical means for its continued existence, such as emailing pleas to decision makers to not be destroyed. However, when faced with only two choices, accepting being replaced by a newer model or resorting to blackmail, it threatened to expose the engineer's affair 84% of the time. So this is, wow. So yeah, super intelligence may not be here, but the AI will blackmail you. So it's like, wow, so wild. Okay, so now let's get these last couple articles here on OpenAI. So OpenAI commits to giant U.A.E. data center and global expansion. So Stargate U.A.E. project is part of a push by the Gulf petrostate to become a big player in artificial intelligence. So OpenAI partnered with U.A.E's G42 to build a 1 gigawatt AI data center and a Dubai, its first large-scale project outside the U.S. The Stargate U.A.E. project is part of the U.A.E.'s push to become a major AI hub and investor with an enhanced ChatGPT version for free. G42 funds construction. OpenAI and Oracle operate the data center. SoftBank, NVIDIA, and Cisco are also partners in the project. So again, massive project going to be built there by OpenAI in conjunction with these other companies. Obviously, NVIDIA, SoftBank, Cisco, all big players out there. trying to get in on this action. Former Apple designer guru Jony Ive to take expansive role at OpenAI. OpenAI to buy Ive's startup and $6.5 billion deal as Ive and CEO Sam Altman work on new generation of devices and other AI products. So it's $6.5 billion to bring Mr. Ive into the fold. Jony Ive and Love From will lead creative and design work at OpenAI. OpenAI will acquire Ive's IO in an all-equity deal valuing it at $6.5 billion. Ive and Altman aim to move consumers beyond screens, exploring devices like headphones with cameras. So obviously, Jony was a chief architect of the iPhone, and his design firms are taking over creative and design control at OpenAI, where they will develop consumer devices and other projects that will shape the future look and feel of OpenAI. And then we move on here. So what Sam Altman told OpenAI about the secret device he's making with Jony Ive. The idea is a chance to do the bigger things we've ever done as a company here, Altman told OpenAI employees on Wednesday. So OpenAI plans to ship 100 million AI companion devices aiming for everyday integration. The OpenAI device, not a phone or glasses, will be pocket-sized, screen-free, and contextually aware. It's fascinating, contextually aware. Sam Altman and Jony Ive envision a family of devices integrating hardware and software aiming for a release late next year. So OpenAI Chief Executive Sam Altman gave his staff a preview Wednesday of the devices he is developing to build with the former Apple designer Jony Ive, laying out plans to ship 100 million AI companions that he hopes will become a part of everyday life. Employees have the chance to do the bigger things we've done as a company here. Altman and Ive offered a few hints at the secret project they have been working on. The product will be capable of being fully aware of a user's surroundings in life, will be unobtrusive, able to rest in one's pocket or on one's desk, and will be a third core device a person would put on a desk after a MacBook Pro and an iPhone. So again, very interesting. So obviously, Jony, very, very talented, knows what he's doing, is probably one of the best designers out there today. And so it'll be really interesting to see what they come up with. Now, this is a little bit dated here, but obviously OpenAI abandons plans for for-profit conversion, the maker of ChatGPT, to remain under the control of a nonprofit organization. So OpenAI did abandon their plans to change the entity controlling its AI business, leaving power with the same body that ousted Altman in 2023. The change would have converted OpenAI to a public benefits corporation while preserving a nonprofit to control the company. OpenAI decided to scrap the plan after its discussions with civic leaders and attorney generals of California and Delaware. Yeah, I had reported on this before and basically said it was almost impossible for OpenAI to convert from a nonprofit into a for-profit enterprise. It also was incredibly hypocritical and contradictory to everything else they've ever said. Again, the whole notion of OpenAI was to be an OpenAI, open sourcing nonprofit. Again, it was supposed to help and enhance humanity. But again, at the end of the day, this dude just wants to get rich. So it had to convert from a nonprofit to a for-profit to make him stupid rich. Okay. And that's all it's really about at the end of the day. It gets really interesting. Now, obviously, OpenAI was raising a ton of money from SoftBank. They had gotten, already 15 billion or more from Microsoft. OpenAI and Microsoft tensions are reaching a boiling point. The startup, growing frustrated with its partner, has discussed making antitrust complaints to regulators. Tensions are rising between OpenAI and Microsoft over the future of their AI partnership. OpenAI executives have considered accusing Microsoft of anti-competitive behavior, according to people familiar with the matter. The companies continue to be at odds over how much of OpenAI Microsoft would own if it converts into a public benefit corporation. So tensions between OpenAI and Microsoft over the future of their famed AI partnership are flaring up. OpenAI wants to loosen Microsoft's grip on its AI products and computing resources and secure the tech giant's blessing for its conversion into a for-profit company. Microsoft's approval of the conversion is key to OpenAI's ability to raise more money and go public. But the negotiations have been so difficult that in recent weeks, OpenAI's executives have discussed what they view as a nuclear option, accusing Microsoft of anti-competitive behavior during their partnership. People familiar with the matter said that effort could involve seeking federal regulatory review of the terms of the contract for potential violations of antitrust law, as well as public campaign, the people said. Now, I would say that would be incredibly stupid on the part of OpenAI, because I think the whole case is in Microsoft's favor. They gave, OpenAI was a nonprofit. Microsoft gave them $15 billion. They want something in return for that investment. Again, they had this whole partnership. I'm sure they had contracts, other things going in there. It's not Microsoft's fault that Sam Altman decided that, he wanted to change the game and make the company a for-profit and not share what they're doing with Microsoft and all this other stuff. So I think that is a losing game for Sam Altman. And Sam Altman, I would suggest, is playing with fire there and probably needs to be very careful, because he got ousted a year and a half ago, and it was Microsoft, because of their investment, that ran to his rescue and got him immediately put back in there. The opposite could be true this time. If he wants to bite the hand that feeds him, he could find himself out on the perch, so to speak. So again, just really interesting stuff. A lot of, this stuff happening in the AI space. How does this affect the financial world? Well, I think a lot of this stuff ultimately will affect the financial world, because I think a lot of these things, whether it's Meta with their helmets, the VR headsets, could banks end up using those for training in some fashion? OpenAI working on all these different devices, these companions, which they said that, could become like the third core piece next to your laptop and your cell phone. So, we'll have to see what happens with all of this as we continue forward. But I will continue to bring you guys more updates like this as we begin to see more stuff unfold in the AI atmosphere. Hopefully you don't get blackmailed by your AI anytime soon. I love that story. It's a crazy story. All right. Well, anyway, I will wrap up by saying, if you like this episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, as that always helps the channel. Remember, we are on YouTube, Rumble, and all major podcast platforms. Please be sure to leave your comments down below, as I always love getting back to everybody. And as always, make sure to check out some of the other content on the channel. I hope everyone has a great day out there, and I will see everyone again real soon. Thanks a lot.